In just 94 seconds, an $8.7 million secret plan was about to ruin the jobs of two super important law people. Pam Bondi wasn't ready for a secret folder. Kash Patel didn't know about some money papers coming his way. Cameras caught everyone freaking out. The Senate room went totally crazy. What did Senator Chris Van Hollen say that made the Attorney General and FBI boss faint on live TV? On the morning of October 7, 2025, things started normal in the fancy Hart Senate building. The Senate Judiciary Room, with its shiny wood walls, was buzzing before a big meeting. Attorney General Pam Bondi sat at a table, looking sharp in her navy suit, with her papers all neat. But she didn't know FBI Director Kash Patel was about to face a huge money scandal, and she'd get pulled in too. At 10:23 a.m., Patel walked in through the back doors, looking like a detective who'd seen too many secrets. His FBI badge sparkled under the bright lights as he sat next to Bondi. They gave each other a quick, confident look, a moment cameras would zoom in on later as the last second before everything fell apart. They had no clue Senator Chris Van Hollen had spent 6 weeks building a super strong money case to end their careers. Van Hollen sat there like a tough lawyer with 40 years of watching over the government. His glasses shined under the lights as he flipped through a thick folder labeled Secret Money Crimes. Inside were bank papers, money transfer slips, and FBI spy reports that would show the biggest cheating scandal in the Justice Department ever. The Maryland Democrat had solved tricky money crimes before, but this was huge. Committee boss Chuck Grassley started the meeting. "Today, we're talking about how the Justice Department and FBI work together," he said. Those boring words hid what was about to be the wildest money scandal hearing in years. Bondi leaned into her microphone, her voice calm but a tiny bit nervous. "Thanks, Chairman Grassley. Director Patel and I are happy to talk about our teamwork in fighting crime," she said. But Van Hollen didn't care about teamwork talk. He had the proof. The first 45 minutes were normal. Some Republican senators asked easy questions about crime numbers and border stuff. Bondi answered with smooth, practiced words about tons of arrests and great teamwork. Patel nodded, sometimes adding FBI success stories. They didn't know they were minutes away from a money disaster. Then it was Van Hollen's turn. "Attorney General Bondi, Director Patel," he started, sounding like he'd done this a million times. "I want to talk about your shared money deals, something you call teamwork funds." Bondi's shoulders got stiff. Patel stopped writing on his notepad. "I want to talk about Secure Justice Consulting Group," Van Hollen said. The room felt super cold all of a sudden. "Senator Van Hollen," Bondi said carefully, "I don't know that company. Can you explain what you mean?" She looked at Patel for help, but instead she saw something scary, sweat on his forehead, even with the air conditioning on. Van Hollen opened his folder slowly. "I'm happy to explain, Attorney General Bondi. This is a paper from Delaware dated March 15, showing Secure Justice Consulting Group was made by," he paused for a big moment, "Director Kash Patel's wife, Nisha Patel, and your old law partner, Rebecca Martin." Patel's hand squeezed his water glass super tight. "The crazy part," Van Hollen went on, sounding like a detective, "is that this company got its first payment just 12 days after it was made from the Justice Department's Special Money Fund. Amount $8.7 million. The room went nuts. Camera flashes popped like lightning. Reporters typed like crazy on their phones, sharing the news instantly. Bondi's face went pale as she stared at Patel, who was sweating through his fancy suit. "Senator Van Hollen," Patel stuttered, loosening his tie, "there's a totally normal reason for that teamwork money." "Oh, I'm sure there's a reason," Van Hollen cut him off sharply. "But let me show what we found." He held up a stack of bank papers. "These show $8.7 million moved from the Justice Department in 3 parts between March 27 and April 15. The room went dead quiet. "But here's the wild part," Van Hollen said, now acting like a super smart lawyer. He checked his papers dramatically. "Within 72 hours of each payment, Secure Justice Consulting sent the same amount minus a 15% fee to Patriot Defense Solutions, owned by Patel's brother, Vine, and Southern Legal Strategies, owned by Bondi's sister-in-law, Maria Santos." The news hit like a punch. This wasn't just cheating. It was a family money-hiding trick using taxpayer cash. Bondi spoke up first, panicking. "Senator, you're totally misunderstanding normal teamwork deals between Justice Department parts." "Am I misunderstanding this secret chat?" Van Hollen held up printed messages. "March 2011, 47 p.m. Patel to Bondi. The consulting plan is ready. We can start moving money tomorrow." Bondi replies at 11:52 p.m. Perfect. The Epstein case money needs to move before anyone notices. The Epstein name made everyone gasp. Democrats leaned forward. Republicans looked shocked. Reporters went wild. The Epstein case, Van Hollen said, super mad but calm. You two plan to steal money meant for investigating Jeffrey Epstein's bad guy network and send it to your families. Patel tried to fight back. Senator, those messages are totally misunderstood. We were talking about normal money moves. Were you talking about normal money moves when you stopped the Epstein case 3 days after the first payment? Van Hollen asked sharply. Because this FBI memo signed by you says the Epstein case was stopped for budget problems on March 3. He showed the memo with Patel's signature. Budget problems while you sent $8.7 million to your family's companies. The truth was huge. They didn't just steal money, they hit a super important case about a bad guy to cover their tracks. But the money tricks get even fancier, Van Hollen said, showing more papers. Secure Justice Consulting also got $2.3 million from the FBI's spy budget. Director Patel, why did spy money go to your wife's company? Patel's face turned red. Senator, you're messing up complicated money stuff, he said. Am I messing up this recording? Van Hollen held up his phone. This is from a private meeting in Bondi's office on April 5, 2025. The room heard clear voices. Bondi said, we need to move the money faster before the budget check. Cash's spy budget is clean money, no one checks it. Patel agreed. The Epstein case is too risky. Better to stop it and use that money for our needs. The recording stopped. The room was super quiet. Your needs, Van Hollen repeated slowly. Is that what you call making your families rich while hiding a bad guy case? Bondi tried one last time. This is clearly a Democrat attack to hurt me, she said. Van Hollen shut her down calmly. I have bank records showing your sister-in-law's company got $1.2 million from this plan. I have FBI video of Patel meeting his brother at a fancy hotel the same day payments were okayed. I have 3 Justice Department workers who were told to rush these payments and not ask questions. He leaned forward. What I don't have is any legal reason for what you did. The room was buzzing. CNN broke into their show with a headline, FBI Director AG caught in $8.7 million scandal. Fox News said, Epstein case buried for family cash. Social media went crazy with videos of Patel and Bondi's shocked faces. But Van Hollen wasn't done. This money plan has an even darker side, he said, showing a map with red pins. The money your families got wasn't just stolen, it came from cases about bad people trafficking kids in crimes with big political names. He pointed at the map. The Miami trafficking case canceled, the Las Vegas escort case with famous clients shut down, the New York modeling case with young victims closed. Each fact was worse than the last. Every one of these cases stopped right after your family companies got paid. This was more than cheating. It was stopping justice on a huge scale, protecting bad guys while making money. Patel finally lost it. He stood up fast, his chair scraping loudly, and pointed at Van Hollen, shaking. This is all lies. You're ruining careers with fake stories and money hints. Sit down, Director, Van Hollen said, super calm but strong. I'm not done with your money empire yet. Patel stayed standing, breathing hard. Bondi grabbed his arm, trying to pull him down, but he pushed her away. The image of the FBI boss losing it on live TV would be shown millions of times. Your money empire, Van Hollen went on. Let me show the committee what Secure Justice Consulting really does. He pulled out a big binder. These are deals your fake company made with foreign countries worth $4.2 million. The room gasped. This wasn't just local cheating. It might be betraying the country. Saudi Arabia paid Secure Justice $1.8 million for law help in May 2025, Van Hollen read. That same month, Bondi stopped a Justice Department case about Saudi money for bad groups. He looked up. The United Arab Emirates paid $1.2 million in June for rule advice. That same month, Patel stopped an FBI case about UAE money tricks. Bondi hid her face in her hands, finally getting how bad this was. That picture would be the big image of the hearing. The Attorney General, totally beaten, caught in a huge money scandal. But Van Hollen had one last big reveal. Want to know how we found this whole network? He asked, his voice soft but clear in the quiet room. A brave person spoke up, Special Agent Sarah Chen from the FBI's money crimes team who Patel told to stop asking about Secure Justice payments. Patel's face went white. Sarah Chen was one of his best workers, someone he thought was totally loyal. The betrayal hit hard. Agent Chen is in protection now, Van Hollen said, because she got death threats after questioning the payments, threats from phones tied to Patriot Defense Solutions and Southern legal strategies. The room went wild again. The idea that FBI workers were being threatened by the same family network Patel made was the worst scandal ever. Representative Jerry Nadler spoke up. "Mr. Chairman, I say we send this to a special lawyer for a crime investigation." "Agreed," said voices from both parties, even some Republicans who looked grossed out by the money news. Patel stood frozen, gripping the table so hard his hands turned white. Bondi was crying openly now. As the huge size of their money crimes went public, the two top law people in America were falling apart on live TV, crushed by proof they couldn't deny. Van Hollen picked up his papers carefully. "Director Patel, Attorney General Bondi, you broke your promises to serve, messed up our law system, and made your families rich with money meant to protect kids from bad people and trafficking victims. You turned the Justice Department into your personal bank while stopping cases that could have saved lives." He stood up slowly, looking strong despite being 70. "Worst of all, you let down every police officer who risks their life for justice while you planned your next family paycheck." The room was a storm of noise. Reporters yelled questions, camera crews pushed for spots, and committee members demanded action. Through it all, Patel stood still like a statue, and Bondi kept crying. In the hours after, the money scandal shook Washington and beyond. CNN ran a special called FBI Director, Attorney General Caught in Huge Family Money Scheme. Even Fox News, which usually liked Trump's team, said, "Explosive money evidence shocks Justice Department." The hashtag Patel Bondi Money Launder was the top topic worldwide in 20 minutes. By night, both parties were calling for Patel and Bondi to quit. Senator Susan Collins called the money proof deeply bad and clearly a crime. Senator Josh Hawley, even though he liked Trump's friends, said the plan was stealing from crime victims, no excuse. The White House spokesperson got tons of questions about whether President Trump knew about the family money network. Legal experts said jail time was coming. Former lawyer Ken White said on CNN, "What Van Hollen showed isn't just bad behavior, it's proof of a crime to cheat the U.S., block justice, and maybe even betray the country with foreign money." The human cost was clear, as victim groups said dozens of trafficking cases were stopped, while Patel and Bondi made their families rich. Survivors who thought they'd get justice were heartbroken. As night fell, both officials faced the end of their careers, reputations, freedom, and their families' futures, all cut down by Van Hollen's 94-minute money reveal. The Maryland senator went back to his office, still working on his 40-year mission to hold big shots accountable. At 70, he just pulled off one of the biggest money fraud reveals in Congress history, using only proof, prep, and a promise to follow the money. The story wasn't over. Criminal investigations would grow, trials would happen. But in one crazy day, a careful senator from Maryland showed that in America, nobody, not even the Attorney General or FBI Director, can steal from crime victims and get away. Sometimes the best weapon isn't a badge or court order. It's bank records shown at just the right time. What happens when leaders who get power by making their families rich get caught by bank papers? Can law enforcement survive if money secrets are spilled? Was it ever really about justice? The answers rang through Congress's fancy halls long after the cameras turned off and the money trail led to jail. This story is made up but based on real people and ideas. All the talking and events are fake, just for teaching about money accountability and justice in America. It's not meant to make anyone look bad, but to think about these big ideas.